So you want to know what an aquarium filter is. Well, an aquarium filter, put simply, is something that helps facilitate the breakdown of ammonia into nitrate. And there's a lot of other things that are encompassed within aquarium filters, but in the most basic understanding of what an aquarium filter is, it is that, helping facilitate the breakdown of ammonia into nitrate. But as I said, there is a lot more to aquarium filters than just that process, and a lot more nuances to it. So let's get into those nuances. Aquarium filters can come in a variety of different shapes, forms, sizes, packages. They can be internal, they can be external, they can be a DIY option, or they can be bought. They can also be driven by air or driven by a motor. All these things are just descriptions of different types of aquarium filters. But at their core, they do three main things, and that is chemically filter the water, biologically filter the water, or mechanically filter the water. And in some combination of these three things. Not every single filter is going to do all three, and some filters might only do two. So let's talk about what mechanical filtration is. Mechanical filtration is the process of capturing or removing solids from the water column within a tank. Those solids could be uneaten fish food, they could be fish poop, they could be dead leaves of your aquarium plants, they could even be dead fish or dead bacteria that you either missed or just die naturally in the cycle of an aquarium. But what an aquarium filter doesn't do is it doesn't remove those from the system. It simply just traps and concentrates those different solids into a singular area that makes it easier for us as the aquarist to be able to remove them from the system. If we don't remove those solids from the system that we've mechanically filtered out of the tank, they're going to continue to break down within our system and continue to pollute the water quality for our fish and its inhabitants. So it is on us to be able to go in there and service our different types of filters to remove those solids that we have accumulated or collected within our designated filtration system that we have for our tank. Mechanical filtration can be accomplished by many different ways. A couple ways would be the disposable cartridge that you have for your hang-on-back filters, the sponges that you have inside of your canister filters, or the polyfill inside of your hang-on-back filter or canister filter, even just the normal sponge filter that you have inside of your tank. All of those things are going to do some varying form of mechanical filtration. The ability of those different things to mechanically filter the water depends on how large the pore sizes are within that particular thing. So for instance, a sponge filter that has a lot of very, very tiny little pores is going to remove a lot of those fine solids and a lot of those large solids because they have such fine pores to trap and accumulate all of those. But they're also going to clog a lot faster because they are simply removing more from the water column. Whereas a mechanical filtration system that has larger pores isn't going to trap necessarily all those fine solids, but they're going to have to be cleaned and serviced on a less frequent basis because they're only collecting the larger ones. And in your situation, you might want to go with a smaller pore or a larger pore, depending on what you're trying to accomplish in conjunction with your biological filtration and your chemical filtration, because they all play a role and play a part with one another. If you guys are enjoying this video and finding it informative, I'd ask you just hit that like button really quickly so that more people who are interested in this type of content or information are liable to find it more easily if you hit that like button. You can be helping your fellow fish hobbyists learn some things about the aquarium hobby. The next one that we have is chemical filtration. That refers to chemicals' ability to remove compounds from a system or from a tank or from an aquarium. Two common types of chemical filtration are activated carbon and purigen. You can look more into what those different types of chemical filtration are and what they do or do not remove from a system, but they can help remove either chemicals that you've added accidentally or intentionally in the form of medication. They can help remove natural compounds that are going to be starting to accumulate as the waste breaks down within a system, and even things that accidentally get added to the thing, either through things dropping into it, things settling out onto an aquarium and into the water, or things that we have on our hands that get into the system. Chemical filtration, though, is probably the least popular out of all the different types of filtration methods just because it is time sensitive, in that the longer that you have chemical filtration in a system, the more of that chemical's ability to remove compounds from the system is diminished. You probably want to stay up with however frequently they recommend you changing out said chemical filtration, either activated carbon, purigen, or anything else, so that you can reap the benefits of the chemical filtration that you are using. Biological filtration refers to the ability to convert ammonia into nitrates. I'll leave a video up here where I talk more about the entire nitrogen cycle if you're looking for that. Make sure to check that out after this video. While we can't see or hold biological filtration like we can mechanical or chemical filtration, I'd argue that it is the most important filtration system that we have within our tanks. And if you only had one thing, biological filtration is the one type of filtration that you would want, because without it, all of our fish and animals are going to die due to ammonia poisoning and ammonia burns. And biological filtration isn't some lofty thing that is hard to understand, Simply what it is bacteria that is living within inside of our aquariums that are breaking down and using the ammonia and nitrite and nitrate as a food source for itself. And it's using that and converting it from more harmful to less harmful products throughout its cycle. Without bacteria, regardless of the different type of filtration system that you're using, your filter is going to be ineffective at providing a safe and healthy environment for your fish. But lucky for us, the bacteria that we need for our tanks is ubiquitous, or all around us in our environment. All we have to do is provide a food source for that bacteria, and that bacteria will start colonizing and start reproducing and start building itself up and breaking down that food source, which at the beginning stages is ammonia. And that ammonia gets converted and broken down into nitrite, which then gets broken down into nitrate by different types of bacteria. And at nitrate, we can either do water changes to remove it, plants can help us remove it, or we can create denitrification and oxygen zones to remove that nitrate from our systems. But regardless of how we get there, we need to have bacteria to be able to help us facilitate that. And bacteria, as like I said, can come from the environment. It can come from bottles of bacteria. I haven't ever tried that personally, but I've heard that it works. Or you can take cycled media from an existing tank that you have or a friend has, and put that media into your system. And with that media will come all the beneficial bacteria that you will need to be able to have a healthy and well-functioning aquarium. If you choose to go the natural way and provide a food source like ammonia to the bacteria, you could expect anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to fully cycle your tank. And with the other methods, using the bottle, bacteria, or a cycled media from another tank or friend, you could add fish pretty much same day, next day, which is why I personally like grabbing some old cycled material from an existing tank and plopping in a new one, be able to put fish in right away. And especially helps if you have a bad habit of having multiple tanks and acquiring fish randomly. Having some extra sponge filters scattered around that are already cycled can be really beneficial to having your fish survive. Well, somehow we've gotten this far in what is an aquarium filter without actually mentioning what different types of aquarium filters are. So let's talk about those and some common ones that we have within our hobby. We have canister filters, we have hang-on back filters, we have internal filters, we have sump filters, we have undergravel filters, we have sponge filters, and we have box filters. Now each of those filters has pros and cons to it, and to make a video that includes all those pros and cons would be way too long. But if you want me to make a video about those pros and cons of those different types of filters, let me know what type of filter you want me to make that video on, and I'll try to make a video on it. If you want to see how that video might, sort of shape out or what I might do, check out my video that I did on undergravel filters up here. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. See you guys in the next one.